Thank you, Heavenly Father. Put her in the boot.
Panic took Greta Point.
She's got her running shoes on.
Yeah. Oh, really?
This was our...
Do you know, I can remember...
yesterday.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Absolutely gorgeous.
I can remember as a teenager crowding into a car, and I mean literally got as many as we could possibly get in.
Yeah.
There was no question of seatbelts in those days.
Yeah.
They once tried for a record somewhere.
I know, they did.
In a Mini, and I don't remember how many they got, and they got an awful lot.
Probably 18 or some ridiculous.
Yes, it was some absurd number. I mean, how they breathed, I don't know. You know. Now we're going to have a scrape, aren't we?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Gently, you see it, does it? Held him up, but still. Good man, he didn't complain. Hey, I just thought this morning, I never took to Trump after I saw his television program of firing people. I thought, what an abominable chap, you know. But no matter what I think about him, I hate the way they're all against him. I mean, I'm only getting CNN because that's what the TV's put on by the chap I'm sharing with. And I just think, I wish they weren't.
Well, actually, there's another way to look at it. He's brought something to the fore that has been rumbling in America for a while.
Yes.
And
yes, that's true. It's given expression, isn't it?
Well, he's caused so many apathetic, on the fence, uninterested citizens to polarize, to decide what they think their country should be, which I think that has been a problem that has been...
He's got them into politics, hasn't he? He's actually, made them politically conscious, and, you can act, or you should act, or you might act, you could act,
But apparently half the country, what I heard this morning is, out of their surveys they've done, half the country think it was right to storm the Capitol. That's how bad it is.
Wow.
Now that...
Well, I mean, I think it was a put-up job, and I'm not sure by who. We know. Because some of their demonstrations are literally funded, by just astonishing. You just can't believe anything, and that's the other thing. He's brought in, you may say he's caused it, but he's brought in this realization of the possibility that everything could be fake in the news. You actually can't simply trust it. Don't be naive like the good Kiwi is and just says the government's doing so and so, isn't that good? It's not necessarily.
The amount of conspiracy theories that have been revealed to simply be conspiracies over the last 40 years has been great, especially for an avid conspiracy theorist like myself. I've gone from being told I'm crazy to people asking more.
Yes, that's right.
Turn right onto State Highway 1, signs for City Center, Polruwa.
Did you mean the ones that have been proven to be true?
Yes. As near as you can get proof anyway, but
Sorry, Murray, the earth is not flat, unfortunately.
Now that's an interesting comment, because one of my friends, the father, always believed, even at the end of his life, that the earth was flat, and no matter how the kids tried to convince them, and they even took him to school and the teacher spoke to him, he still believed the earth was flat, and finally they realized he had a right to his view, and they stopped haranguing him about it.
Raymond's dad actually believes that too. He actually is pro flat earth theory. And again, in a sense, I left him with... I was interested in why he thought it, but there's no question of that. But, I just thought, well, I'm not going to... I do that with people's beliefs. Okay, he's whatever he is. But at least he's earnestly it. And that's what I appreciate. He's earnestly it. And I think that... You think of Trump. You try and think into his mind. I'll bet you anything he wanted to be a great president. He wanted to have done great things. He would love to go down in history as a great man. Now, you may say that's for all the wrong reasons. It's ego and everything else.
Well, it doesn't matter, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
He will be going into history, definitely.
Unquestionably.
I'll tell you what.
Except like Akhenaten, he could be written out of history.
There'll be volumes on his presidency.
The Akhenaten, the Egyptian Pharaoh, who abandoned the whole of the religious setup, built his city the other side of the Nile, and they were all out of a job, you know, I mean, it was desperate. And when he died, they completely blotted him out of the history, so much so that we didn't even know he existed till we found bits of him on the ruins of buildings that had been used to build something else.
That's amazing. I never knew that.
I can imagine them doing the same with Trump, you know. He never existed, I tell you, you know.
Yes, unfortunately.
No, I think he'll be in.
The internet is a little harder to scrub of all information pertaining to an individual.
But we can obliterate it, can't we? I mean, you know, I was in.
The sun will do that for us.
I was in Mata, and I couldn't get the GPS to work. And in the end, I went into Vodafone and said, "Can you help me? I feel so incompetent." He said, "It's down. The whole region's down." You know, and you think, yeah, what happens if you have something that knocks out the world internet?
Well, it's like when you go to the bank and you're lining up outside, and the woman's there, and she's saying, "If you don't need to do this, please, you know, come back 3 or 4 hours later because our whole system was down."
We only had a few telegraph poles and a little bit of power.
What can't work if the internet's not out? In the end, it will be, you know, your transport all stops because it's all computerized, everything, you know. Yeah, and you think, wow.
It would be a very different story.
I remember now having read about that. Yeah,
It is.
Some estimates believe that it might take, if it happened today, it might take up to 100 years before we see things like smartphones.
Turn left
What's that?
onto
If what happened
Street.
today?
Because of the layers of technology that we have to build up over time.
Say again, if what happened today?
Well, between, I think it's every 250 to 500 years or something like that,
In 300 meters, turn right onto Road Street.
the sun produces a solar flare
Massive
large enough
sunspot.
and in our direction that it's an electromagnetic pulse. It's
Yes.
such a powerful
It could wipe out the internet.
It could wipe out every electronic device that we have
So all our records have gone.
in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, that's staggering.
And it happened. It happened when the telegram and
Take the
power
next right onto
production
Road
was in
Street.
its infancy, and we had to replace all of it or nearly all of the machinery and the cabling
Yeah, that's right.
as a result.
Automatic.
But fortunately, we didn't have that much.
Yeah, in those days. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have a lot now.
Wow.
And they theorise, just to continue, that it might take 100
In
years.
200 meters, at the roundabout, take the
Well, it
second
made
exit.
me
onto
think, just
Road
being
Street.
stuck in
It might take
Matamata,
100 years for us to get
why haven't I got a
smartphones
backup, a
back
map?
again.
Why haven't I got a map that doesn't rely on this? Actually, just an old-fashioned map of the area, you know?
I know, I walked into the AA a few months ago and asked for a paper map, and the girl looked
Looked at you amazed. What's the matter with you,
I've got
Fogey?
those things. What are they?
Don't you have a phone, sir?
Last year I was going and asking for a map, you know.
What you do is you go to a big second-hand book sale and get the most recent book of maps that you
That's
can
right,
find.
that's the
Turn right
answer.
onto Hifari Quarry Street.
Yeah, and I thought, you know, like your photographs and all that sort of thing, so I at least downloaded the photographs onto a memory stick. You know, I thought, don't leave them in the cloud. My boy said to me, no, nothing's
Turn right
nothing's
onto
secure,
Hifari
it's
Quarry
just
Street.
useful. Don't treat anything as being secure.
But I don't think we will lose all data though, Marshall, because there'll be a lot stored on optical drives and magnetic drives underground.
That will be separate in some way.
200 meters, turn left onto Retail Street.
There will be a lot of inconvenience.
Oh, yeah, it certainly would be, wouldn't it?
And here, a lot of information will be lost. Yeah. Not everything.
Even we've experienced it, things that were on floppy
Take
disk
the
or
next
on
left
tape.
onto Retail Street.
You know,
then
you haven't
turn
even
right
got the
onto
device
Luxford
for
Street.
playing it now. It doesn't exist, you know.
Come to my place.
You've got a record player, by any chance? I
Yes,
bet you have,
absolutely.
yes. How quaint.
I haven't played it for years, but it's there.
There'll be a lot of people who will miss their massively multiple online games.
Oh, what are they going
They'll
to
be
do?
blank, you know.
Take the next right onto Luxford Street.
Yeah,
Then
only
turn
social
left onto
media.
Oxford.
They'll feel it's a living death, you know.
Impact will be bigger than the technical impact.
Yeah.
Say that again?
the psychological impact will be bigger than the technical.
And wasn't that so with COVID? I mean, our cure was worse than the illness. You know, to stop the world economy, I have no idea what's going to be the consequence of that, really. It hasn't hit us yet. And psychologically, what's it done? Has suicide rate changed? You know, it'd be interesting to know, wouldn't it? What's going on, you know?
Well, the other thing is America's just...
Continue for 1 kilometer.
I saw the chart for America this morning and it's COVID, and it's really out of control. With this new strain that's got there, it's a massive...
Is that what it is?
on
The new
rampage.
strain, is it?
Speed limit 50.
Oh. Someone's upgraded it. It's conspiracy theory.
It's called mutation,
Oh, right, okay.
and it's got to cause us to mutate so we can fight it.
Yeah,
The conspiracy is that a bunch of evil scientists
It's working hard on mutating it.
they're working on the next model now.
A bit like, what do you call it on computers? You know, you put viruses you put into computers. You
Yes.
know?
Antivirus.
And I was convinced, well, of course the computer companies would do it so that they've got need for their antivirus stuff. I mean, it creates its own need, doesn't it?
Yep.
And I don't know if it's true, but I mean, it seemed to me most rational.
I mean, in a world of supply and demand, if you're a supplier, it makes sense to control the demand.
And I'm an economist, you see. I'm an economist.
Now, I've got a friend who has created all of her the businesses that she has owned, she has created the demand for.
Interesting.
Wow.
It's absolutely fascinating.
Yep.
I was in advertising. I was junior, you know, account manager.
So you're a black magician then, were you?
It occurred to me, I thought, I'm just helping people create wants. That's absurd in a world that's desperate, you
In
know.
100 meters,
And I
turn
packed
right
out, I
at
did
Main
teaching
Street.
locally. Half the wage, I just stopped, you know.
There's a Reddit page for occultists.
Turn right
It's
onto
all
Meeting
these-
Street, then turn left
It's all
onto
these
Murray Street.
dark, you know, borderline psychopathic investigators of the magical and spiritual potential, right?
Yeah.
And on this forum, somebody said, "Oh, can everyone say what their job is?" And
Turn left onto
it just
Murray
came in,
Street, then turn left onto Ryan Street.
advertising.
No.
All
Oh, no. Awful.
Yeah.
That is
And
amazing.
they're all
Left
into
onto Ryan Street,
symbology.
then your
and-
destination will be on the
That's
right.
why God had me in it. He said, look at this, have a look at this, look at this. Close range. I was, first of all, I was progress manager in the television department. We were making, 15-second, 30-second adverts. Crazy phone, push button fun. I mean, we had all the jingles and all that. And yeah, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, because I was able to use a cab to go all over London. All the film studios, all the photographics, the art studios. Oh, it was fantastic for a young chap, But I then had an account when I was in the press department that was location of office bureau. We were trying to get firms to move out of London and people to realise how good it was to have a life in the country, not in the city. And we lowered the population of London, they did in the campaign, by about 1 million over the years, I don't know, a decade or something. But I thought, I believe in this, I'm going to do it. And I left. I left.
Convinced yourself.
Yes. Lovely. I became a teacher, student teacher on half pay, unqualified before you go to university, And I did it for 2 years. And the headmaster said, you can teach, you should do it. Lovely chap, really encouraged me.
Get persuaded.
Yeah, well, yes, of course, that's what it was.
And brainwash.
Yes. Yeah, when it came to my second boy, I homeschooled him. I don't want him in that environment, do I?
Control the program.
Absolutely. Perhaps does it open if I'm not there?
There we go.
I was sitting in the middle of the first council. Yeah. But I can't compare slightly.
It's got this
Some
shade
conversation.
in the back.
Oh, yes.
And
It goes.
coming at the back of my head,
It's saying, remember you're mortal.
Oh, I just had a comment there. Just terrible listening to it myself, you know. I mean, it's very entertaining, but gosh, the ego of this bloke, Marshall. Terrible. And I cut across people, don't I? I know this is 2 years ago now, see, 2.5 years ago. And I really have tried to not interrupt people when they're talking. Sometimes people drag on. I mean, I do, but I like people to interrupt me because it's alive. You know, I don't want the conversation to go the way I'm steering it, because I'm not particularly steering it to some known best benefit. And all sorts of avenues open, don't they? So I certainly try to shut up when people interrupt me, rather than, you know, traditional societies, you can't interrupt your elders. The result is your elders are terrible bores. They never stop talking, and you just think, oh, for goodness sake, will we ever get home tonight, you know? Who let him have the microphone? Yes, but I am struck by the way our mum used to say, oh goodness, we can hear you above all the other kids. And wonder why that was. Mind you, Dad was the same. He was one of these guys you could be in a, you know, compartmentalised open carriage right the way through. I mean, you'd hear him talking 3 or 4 compartments up. Hello, old boy, how are you? You know? I'm in a different culture, but the same ghastly ego, I think, really. I don't know. Thank you, Dad.